We have started the recording, my dudes. Don't know what that was about. That's not gonna be my intro. Hello, it's me, Naught again. I'm gonna go through my platinums and my 100% games with you today. There's only a few. I have 20 platinums. I just got my 20th platinum 3 days ago, and that was Resident Evil Village. That was quite a good game. Was it the best? It was still a good game. Either way, we should head over to PSN profiles. So as you can see, guys, we've got some new trophy milestones here. Our 20th platinum here. Ethan named Ethan Winters, and obviously that's from Resident Evil Village. It was a good game. From the first playthrough, I actually thought it was a great game. But as you replay the game, you can see the flaws within the game. But I would still highly recommend the game. It's still, in my opinion, an 8 out of 10 game, so it's still a recommendation from me. Anyway, we're going to start off by actually going over the non-platinum games, the games that I have 100% in, but just don't have a platinum. And here we go. We've got 4 games here. I would say all of these games are great in their own way. I'm going to start off with my most nostalgic game, Parappa the Rapper 2. People don't know this, but it's got a really difficult trophy, and it involves getting every single record in the game. You unlock the record shop when you complete the game, and you get records by completing each stage on cool mode, and that's difficult. That's difficult for someone like me. And you also need to complete every single stage on the highest difficulty in versus mode. I did talk about this game slightly on my other video. If you want to watch that after this, go right ahead. It's my PlayStation trophy collection. So yep, I would also recommend checking that out if you're interested. So we've got Gone Home. This is a story-driven game. I don't like to describe games as walking simulators because now that term has become a bit derogatory. But it's a story narrative game, and you basically arrive at this house. You let yourself in, and the main character that you play as reminisces on her memories, and that's all that I'm gonna say. I think it's a cool game. It's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea. The 100% is fairly easy, so I would personally recommend the game. I feel like the game is always on sale, and even if it's not on sale, it's fairly cheap anyway. So if you fancy that type of experience, you can go right ahead and do that. The next game is another nostalgic game for me. Played on the PS2, and it was Ape Escape 2. This is a cracking game. However, I do need to preface this. The game does have glitched trophies, and I only recently got one of those glitched trophies. If you go onto PlayStation profiles and click on this game and then click on one of the threads, one of the most recent threads, they'll be talking about one of those glitched trophies, and you will actually see me give my own little reply, because literally on the day that I checked this thread, I just played the game again, played that one stage that glitched on me, and the trophy managed to pop. So yeah, it's glitched. I just need to put that out there, but I did get it. I don't know if it was partly luck or partly just buggy, but yeah, I managed to get it, and now it's 100%. So that's one of the new ones here as well. I got this on the 26th of this month, so that is all cool. Now, Overcooked. I played this with Serena, and we managed to get every single trophy. Serena's really good at this game. I'm pretty bad, so Serena definitely carried me. and this is doable as well. You know, if you like a fun multiplayer, 100% kind of game, yeah. I think this is really fun, really fun one. Now we've went through all of the non-platinum 100%s. We will now go over to our platinums. See you there. So we're back again, guys, with my platinums. As you can see on the very top, you can see we have 20 platinums. But if you look down here, it does say that we have 21 completed games. That might seem a little bit confusing, but what this stat means is that I have 21 games that are 100% complete. That's all that it means. So I might have a platinum, but it might not be 100% complete because of potential DLC trophies or miscellaneous stuff. So don't worry about that too much. We're just going to go over the platinums now, since we've already covered the non-platinum 100%. I've already sorted these games by platinum, and I've ordered them alphabetically. So let's get started. The first one, what a way to start. Borderlands the pre-sequel. I am thinking of doing the other Borderlands games, especially Borderlands 2. And I will eventually do Borderlands 3 and the base Borderlands game, like just Borderlands 1. Borderlands the pre-sequel, this was a long one. Not necessarily difficult, but it was a bit long. Out of all of the Borderlands games, I think this is one of the weaker ones, actually. Not the weakest, but just a weaker one. I prefer Borderlands 2 and even the original Borderlands game. Yeah, nothing much to say except for the trophy challenger, which means you have to complete every single challenge at least up to level 1. And it doesn't sound bad, but some of those level 1 challenges are really grindy. So that's that, and some level 1 challenges can only be unlocked when you max out another challenge. So that means that you might have to do one challenge to level 5 to unlock another one at level 1. It's a whole thing, really time consuming, and honestly not very fun. It's actually not a fun platinum, but 3.55% of people have this platinum, and I ended up doing the 100% because I already had the DLC, so I just did that, and the DLC is not bad. It's not bad. So 2.25%. It's not a bad one, but is it a good one? I'm on the fence. Would I recommend it? I'm on the fence. We've got Control next. Right, okay. I wasn't expecting it to be this bad of a start, honestly. Control. I see a lot of people praising this game. I have so many issues with this game. It's mainly to do with the story. The story itself is basically non-existent. The attachment to the main character, Jessie, she's not a great character. The way that they do the dialogue as well, when Jessie is talking to other characters, she always butts in with her inner monologue. And 9 times out of 10, the inner monologue does not flesh out the conversation whatsoever or her internal struggle. It's meaningless. And this is not to say that I don't like that particular that particular method of dialogue delivery. I like experimental storytelling methods, but that was just not it, man. Not it at all. The main character, trash. The story, trash. Ending, trash. A lot of parts of it, just not great. It's just not great. That's my opinion. That is my opinion. You are allowed, obviously, to like the game and love it. I do love parts of this game. So, for instance, the environment and the world, I think, is excellent. There are parts that you can nitpick, but the oldest house is an amazing environment with the brutalism architecture. It is really something to behold. The gameplay, however, it's fun for the first 4 hours. It's fun for the first 4 hours, and then it gets a little bit repetitive. Even with like upgrades and new powers throughout the story, it just gets a little bit tedious. And the enemy designs, not a lot of cool enemies. It's just boring. It's a really boring game. I would actually not recommend this game. On paper, this is a game that I would have loved, but in practice, I just don't love. And it's the same makers as Alan Wake as well. I really like Alan Wake, but I don't like this game at all. And that's a shame. That's a shame. I think this game tries to be big brain, but it's trying to be big brain when it's not big brain. And that means that it's acting pretentious. That's my view on it. I would not recommend this though. I would recommend playing it on a secondary account just to test whether or not you like the game. But other than that, no. Now we have Danger Scavenger. I got this game for under £1 and it has a platinum. You would think that this is a easy game. Oh no, you're playing easy games? Oh wow, scrubby platinum. This is not a scrubby platinum. There are moments of challenge, and it's a little bit of a time sink. I managed to do this in almost a week. Well, I did it in 6 days, 11 hours. This is a cracking game for under £1. You can't go wrong with this game. It's a twin stick shooter. And the story is non-existent, but you don't really need a story for this type of game. It's kind of like a roguelite kind of game. There's an arcade mode and a hardcore mode. The challenge is there. It's not the easiest game. And there's a bunch of replay value because you can choose between, I think, maybe 5 or 6 characters. And part of the trophy list is you have to complete the game with each character. I think it's fun. I would recommend it, especially if you see it for under £1 or like a dollar or something. You know, it's a cracking game. Next game, Days Gone. Very similar to Control in my opinion, where my issue is with the story and the characters. Not great in Days Gone. Deacon St. John, no, you don't. No, thank you. No, thank you. Get out of my life. Yeah, the story is it doesn't hit the nail on the head. It's not great. However, the gameplay loop of you riding on your motorbike and the realism there, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool game. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the gameplay aspects. I liked fighting hordes. That was really cool. Other than that, the platinum wasn't too bad. You know, a few collectibles, discover areas, fighting hordes. You know, it's pretty good. It was pretty good. The DLC, however, is gonna be a challenge. I will be doing that. I will be eventually getting this game 100%. Currently, I'm at 75% completion rate. I would recommend this game. Days Gone, yeah. Fighting EX Layer, a criminally underrated game. For whatever reason, it just never picked up steam. It was consistent. There was a consistent player base when the game released, but then it quickly died down, and it's such a shame because it's a really, really fun fighting game. The game was announced as a April Fool's joke, and then people actually wanted to play this game, and they made it. So I got this game day one, and I platinumed this game in 3 days, 17 hours back in 2018. And this is actually my second platinum. My first platinum was Street Fighter V, and this is my second platinum. Would I recommend? I would have recommended this game to platinum back when it first launched. But now that the online is dead I'm pretty sure there's online trophies that you have to do, but because the game is dead, I wouldn't recommend purely for Platinum. But if you want a fun fighting game, Fighting EX Slayer, that's where it is, man. Fighting EX Slayer. Goat Simulator next, a bit of a meme game. I got the Platinum for this not too long ago, 10th of July. And I still need to do the DLC. You can see here that the difficulty is 5 out of 10. Now, for a meme game, I was a bit surprised. I was like, how is this a 5 out of 10? This is a pretty easy game. It's 5 out of 10 just for one trophy, and it's the Flappy Goat trophy. If you remember a couple of years ago, Flappy Bird, they basically did the same thing but with a goat. And it's infuriating because the hit detection is completely fucked. It's fucked. So you play as a little mini-game version of Flappy Bird, but it's Flappy Goat. And you need to basically dodge pipes and you know, you're this little Flappy Goat, right? But the hit detection is so bad that even when the goat does not hit the pipe, it still counts as a game over. So it is really difficult, but that's the only difficult part of the game. Everything else is doable, trial and error. It's fine, but I think that 5 out of 10 is a bit justified because that will be the one trophy that might limit you from getting the Platinum altogether. Because that took me hours to do, that one trophy. So I would say maybe like 2 or 3 hours just doing that. Yeah. Medieval, highly recommend this game. It's a remake of the original PS1 game. I never played the PS1 game, but after playing this, I can definitely say that I'm a fan of the series. I love I think his name's Sir Daniel Fortescue, and you basically play as this skeleton knight, and you have to defeat evil. That's the basics of it. It's a really easy Platinum. I would recommend it. It's so charming. It's so charming of a game. The writing is, in my opinion, very British. It's very British humor. Yeah, I love it. Love it. So much charm. Would recommend. Would recommend. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I got this game from PS Plus. This is a really easy one. There's grinding in it, where you need to play a certain amount of online battles and win a certain amount of online battles. There's a few miscellaneous trophies, but it's manageable. It's really easy. It's a really easy game. There's nothing really there's nothing stand out about this game. I would say if you want to platinum this game, try and do it as fast as possible, because people are still playing this because it's free for PS Plus, but eventually the game will die. So I would say play it as soon as possible. Nitro Plus Blasters, Heroines Infinite Duel, another underrated fighting game. The big difference here, though, it's an anime fighting game with waifus. From the get-go, I was really hesitant with this game. It's just like, oh, okay, waifus, right, okay, not my cup of tea. But I can remember watching my good friend Gibbo from up north in Aberdeen. He was playing it, and I was watching him, and I thought, wow, this game actually looks kind of fun. And I sat down with him, and he went through the game with me, and I love it. It's really fun, really fun multiplayer, really fun game mechanics. The single player can be done in like an hour or two. It's a pretty easy platinum. You need to do specific combos and specific things within combos to get trophies, but there's guides online. You can really do this. There's really easy ways to do these trophies. So don't let that be fooled. The 5 out of 10, I would probably say it's more of a 4 or a 3. It's not that difficult. If you're not super into fighting games, you will still be able to platinum this, don't worry. Here's one of the big hitters, Persona 5. This is the game that got me into trophy hunting, and I don't know why it was, this is just a phenomenal game across the board. I think what really got me was the gameplay loop. I loved collecting personas and fusing them and making completely different personas. I just loved that aspect, and the social simulator kind of mechanics, where when you improve your relationships with your confidants, you gain unique abilities in battle or elsewhere, and I just loved those mechanics. A phenomenal game. When they release Persona 3 and Persona 4 on PS4, I'll be grabbing those games and platinuming them 100%. After fully completing this game, I am definitely a fan of the franchise now. Persona, yes. Resident Evil. If you watched, actually, I don't know if I mentioned this in my previous video. Anyway, Resident Evil is a masterpiece. The original remake, Resident Evil, is a masterpiece. If I was to ever give a game a 10 out of 10, it would be this game. The platinum is doable as well. Only a 5 out of 10. You'll need to play the game, a good couple of times. But since you're replaying the same game, you'll be able to speed through it. So, yeah, it is truly a masterpiece, 10 out of 10 game. There's nothing really much else to say. And we've got a couple more Resident Evils coming up. We've got Resident Evil 2 Remake. Another fantastic game. In my opinion, this is pinnacle. I think this is pinnacle Resident Evil. Third person, remake style gameplay. Yeah, this is where it's at. Phenomenal game. If you're not into Resident Evil, still pick this game up, and I think the game will persuade you. It's that good. And just to say, I did the 100% for this game, and only 5.15% of players have the 100%. There's a reason for that. There's one trophy in the DLC, the Ghost Survivors, that is really difficult. I think it's No Way Home. Let's just double check this quick. Let's scroll down. Yeah, sorry, No Way Out. So Hell of a Sheriff, complete the No Way Out scenario, no training mode. Yeah, that's no joke. That is absolutely no joke. I tried not using a guide, but I kept on dying at 90 kills, because how that works, that particular mode, the No Way Out, is you have to defeat 100 zombies with 1 life. So it's like a horde style level, and it's no joke. You get armored zombies, you get poisonous zombies, you get the pale heads as well, and you only have a finite amount of ammo. It's no joke. It's pretty solid. Actually, in saying that, you get infinite ammo on your handgun, but you don't get infinite ammo for your special weapons, and you need to use your special weapons on armored zombies and the pale heads, and it's pretty difficult, man. It's pretty difficult. So when I eventually got that trophy, I was like, yes, that was pretty satisfying. But the base game, highly recommend. The DLC as well, I would recommend. They didn't even have to release that DLC, but they did anyway. And it was just like a nice little addition to an already great game. So yeah, fantastic. Resident Evil 3, compared to Resident Evil 2 Remake, I can see why people have issues. In its own context, the Resident Evil 3 Remake does leave out key parts of the original game. I think the gameplay is there though. I think it's staying true to its more action roots. Some of the set pieces are a little bit dodgy. The end as well. Not sure about the ending. I don't know. I don't know. But this is a really easy platinum. This is my quickest platinum. I platinumed this in 3 days and 3 hours, and it's an easy platinum. So if you're if you're a fan of Resident Evil and you want to have a quick and easy platinum, yeah, Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 7 next. A really good game. Coming from Resident Evil 6 to this game, it's like night and day. Resident Evil 7 is truly Capcom bounced back and now they're on form with their Resident Evil games. Yeah, I would recommend this game to anyone. This is a really fun game. The only problem that I have with the game is the third act. I really dislike the third act in this game. I still need to play the DLC. I'm really looking forward to playing the DLC. I still need to get it, but I'm waiting for the sale. I'm gonna wait for the DLC to go on sale, or when the gold edition of the game is on sale for a specific price. So when it's low enough, then I'll buy it, or I'll just wait for the season pass or the DLCs to go on sale. Next up, the most recent platinum, my 20th platinum, Resident Evil Village. Compared to Resident Evil 7, this game does improve things. However, it shares some of the same problems with Resident Evil 7. Still a great game. Still a great game. Do I prefer this game over Resident Evil 7? It's hard to say. There are two different games that try and tackle different things, but it's kind of the same core gameplay. I like the locations better in Resident Evil Village. There's some really cool locations, but those great locations, they only last for a short while, and then you move to maybe a not so great area. So that's a nitpick, but yeah, still a great game. I did enjoy platinuming this game. I just have to say one thing though. I did a playthrough with knife only, but at the end, the trophy didn't pop. This is a public service announcement. When you're playing as Chris and you're using the knife on that boss, do not use the target locator. Don't do it. It will count as other damage other than the knife damage. Now, I thought that was a scripted boss fight. I thought you had to use the target locator to kill it. That's not the case. You can kill it with only a knife. So just do that, okay? And that'll save you another playthrough. Next up, we have Sonic Forces. This was a slog of a game. There's a particular trophy called Ring King. And if we just go here quickly. Ring King, yep. Collected a total of 100,000 rings. The max rings that you can get for any level is 999. So that's a slog. Let's go back here. Yeah, so not entirely great of a game to begin with. I was kind of hyped for this game, but why did they not give Chaos love, man? Like, they had every other Sonic antagonist there, and they showed Chaos, but they didn't give him a proper level or anything. So I don't know what happened there. That would have been a good opportunity to have a cool set piece anyway, or a boss fight. But nevertheless, this was an okay game. It was all right, very middle of the road. I would give it like a 5 out of 10. It was okay. It was okay. It was fun at parts. There were hype moments, but there were only very few hype moments. Everything else was a bit boring. I got this through PS Plus, so I just completed it. And that's it for Sonic Forces. South Park: The Fractured Butthole. This is my favorite South Park game. I did have a think about this, and this is my favorite South Park game. I still like the Stick of Truth, but I think the Fractured Butthole just inches forward a little bit and has took that top spot for me. Really funny writing. If you love South Park, you will love this game. And yeah, I had to do a second playthrough. You can get the platinum in one playthrough, and that's cool. But I didn't realize that. I had to play the game for a second time, and that was because I didn't play on Mastermind. I had a black character in my first playthrough, but because I didn't play Mastermind difficulty, I didn't get the platinum. So I had to do a second playthrough, which took me about, I want to say, 8 to 10 hours. So and that's with skipping the cutscenes, I'm pretty sure. So it's a long game, naturally. So yeah, and that's what I would recommend you doing. Everything else is doable. It's got a 3 out of 10 difficulty. It's not bad. It's not a bad game at all. It's actually truly great. So yeah, I would recommend it. Street Fighter 5. On launch, this game was hot garbage, but now they've now Capcom have updated the game to a pretty sufficient level. You have a lot of content in this game now, and I would recommend it. The online is still semi-active, so you can still do the online trophies. The only big challenge would be the survival mode. So you have to play survival mode on extreme, which means you have to complete it, defeat 100 enemies with 1 life. That's difficult, but after the updates to survival mode, you can actually use items, and that'll make things easier. Not easy, but easier. Still a bit of a grind, but yeah, and I'm surprised it's 10 out of 10 difficulty. It's actually, it wasn't super hard for me because I played the game since launch, but maybe if you're new to fighting games, maybe it would be considered a 10 out of 10. So yeah, and now we're on to the last 2 games. I got Tekken 7 not too long ago. Well, Tekken 7 as in the platinum. I got the game near release. But yeah, I got the platinum this month, 8th of July. And yeah, pretty simple platinum. I already got some of the online specific trophies. There was one online trophy that I didn't get, and that was win a match in tournament mode. If you're familiar with fighting games, most of the fighting games tournament modes are not very popular. So I was actually really hesitant to platinum this game because I just thought, oh, how in the hell am I gonna get that trophy if people don't play tournament mode? But literally, it only took me an hour. It only took me an hour to find a tournament match and win. So it wasn't bad at all. Tekken 7 is a cool game, very entry level fighting game in my opinion. It's really fun for newcomers, really fun for OGs, and out of all of the fighting games today that we covered, I would probably say that this is my most recommended. I would say, this is highly recommendable for any type of player, really. It's a fun game. The story mode is great as well, so yeah, you'll be satisfied with this. Last but not least, a very easy game to platinum, The Wolf Among Us. You just have to complete the game and collect all of the collectibles, and that's about it. The story itself is actually quite good for a Telltale game. It is actually really cool for a Telltale game. Yeah, and I didn't realize that Fables, I'm pretty sure that's what it's based on. The comic book Fables, like the graphic novel comic Fables, it is quite cool. It's quite cool. And the story itself is, it's kind of meandering. It's got peaks and valleys, and I would also recommend that game. Yeah. So that's been my 100% and my platinums. I am currently working on Sims 4, as you can see here. Well, it's actually Serena who's going through Sims 4. She's trying to get all of the trophies. She's pretty good at the game. I'll be working on Soul Calibur 6. I'll be working on Patapon. I just need to work on Patapon for some of the more grindy trophies. And one more that I'm working on, and this will probably be my main game for the next month. It would be a game called Arcadegeddon, which was a PS Plus game that that got launched not too long ago. So, and that's an online-centric game, so I'm going to try and get that over and done with, so I don't have to worry about server shutdowns and all of that kind of stuff. And because it's been and because it's been on PS Plus not too long ago, people will still be playing the game. So yeah, and that's it, guys. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye.